Hello, everybody. Welcome to Roll 'em If You Got 'em. I am Dakota, and as always, I am joined by Carl.
What's up, everybody?
And in today's video, we are painting the Chaplin from the Indomitus box. So as you can see here, I first start out priming the model gray with a Rust-Oleum flat gray primer, and then I go right into painting all of the armor panels black because these guys are known for their black armor. Did not actually start out priming black, just for the simple reason to not have to do too many layers on all these bone portions that we'll be hitting later in the video. So as you can see, kind of being pretty careful around some of those initial spots. And then as I go through, it'll be less so on these big open armor areas.
Yeah, that's a good point. If I was doing this guy, I think I would probably prime him black. I would just take the easy way out and save myself a bit of painting him, but then I would have to fight with everything else, the rest of the model, by hitting it with a lighter color, your bones,
Mhm.
tans, maybe some whites, whatever you choose
Yeah,
there.
and I do obviously have to end up doing that, but I don't like having to build up too many layers of those light colors because sometimes you build them up and they get like chalky and thick, and instead of trying to do two thin coats, you do like four
Mm-hmm.
coats, and then it just doesn't look as good. And for myself, I found that going gray and then putting black on it um, works better, especially for these models like this. Like obviously, it'd be 10 times easier just to start all black and go from there. I'm just trying to cheat myself a little bit just to make it look a little bit better. So here you can see that once all it is blacked in, every other gray spot is going to get basically some other color that is not black. So after that, we go to our wraith bone. This is what we're blocking in on all those bone colored areas. I hit the tabard here. It gets wraith bone. You'll notice the reliquary on his hip also gets it. The aquila on his chest, the ribs area. There's like a stomach area. And his club, and then the skull on the backpack, I think, also gets it. Oh, and the skull on his knee.
So you're breaking out the traditional paints here, huh? Stepping away from the contrast and such for a minute.
Yeah, I'm a fan of doing some more traditional paints, especially on these characters where you're not bulk painting. Just get a little bit more detail going.
It's
Uh,
true.
I, I feel like you can do lot of different, things, a lot of different techniques, and get a lot of more varied shades. Because really, even in the contrast, you can do some things and do some mixing, but I like almost the consistency that you can pull out for some things.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I don't man, it's I probably haven't gone back since breaking out the speed paints.
Hmm.
Like I don't think I've gone back on a single model outside of highlights and such, but
Hmm. I think one of the differences for me is I actually started painting with contrast paints. So I started on the contrast route and did it, and then as I got better and more confident, I switched to traditional painting.
mhm.
Um, so as you can see here, this is all the bone areas that I pulled out, to be honest. But like I said, I switched to traditional painting to get better results. As you can tell too from when I started painting, you're like, where'd this guy's backpack go? So he started with the backpack on. Since he is a push fit and that backpack isn't glued on, I actually was able to wiggle it off, and I was like, I'm gonna pull it off. I'll be able to access his back better, and then also paint that backpack a little bit better. The next step here, we're going to hit Retributor Armor base color. This is going on essentially all the armor trim for him. So we'll hit, for the most part, all the trim that you can see. It kind of on the model, it sticks up a little bit, uh, and we're going to go with that direction.
So you don't glue it all for the push fits?
I don't believe you have to. I didn't actually build this guy. I got him. I forget where I got him from, but he was already built and together. But as I was painting him, the backpack was a little loose, and then I just was like, "Oh, I'll mess with it," and I pulled it off. So,
Ah, interesting.
yeah. I mean, I can glue it on, and I probably will now that I'm done painting him.
Sure.
But yeah, as you can see here, just picking out most of that trim that I want that bronzy goldish color going on.
It looks really good against that black, and that black
Mhm.
looks so flat that if if you showed me the model and like in the beginning, you're like, oh yeah, I primed them black and then I painted all these bits gray. I'd be like, oh, like cool, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it
So
looks really good.
that Vallejo model color black, which is 70.950, it is very flat once you put it on. And I'm a fan of it, especially on the Space Marine power armor, because I always kind of envision their armor as just, I wouldn't say ceramic, but it's more of like a flat type
For
of
sure.
material. I don't view it as like this thing that's, great, like shining and
Hmm.
glowing. So now we're going to go through and hit the regular metallic areas, mostly on the weapon here, with a Vallejo metal color, airbrush color, and it is dark aluminum. So this is actually an airbrush paint, and I like it because it comes out very thin
Yes.
automatically, and you can get it in those spots, and it kind of gets into those recesses on its own, and it has a really good flow. You don't have to worry about making sure it's the right consistency or anything like that.
Awesome.
So we're just picking out some of those um, weapon pieces on the model. I think I also, on the backpack, you won't see it. I pick out the kind of the halo that's around the skull on the backpack, and then there's a couple spots on the hand weapon and the belt buckle that end up getting picked out.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever just straight up painted on an airbrush paint.
Yeah, no, it works pretty good. There's really good flow. It's thinner, more liquidy, and I really like it. Since I found them, I really liked them.
Hmm.
And I also do his head. Half his head is metal as well. So now we're going to get into some shading. We've got pretty much all the base colors down at this point. Over the armor type of bone panels, I go with this Seraphim Sepia. I've really liked this shade. It can really help you accentuate like that true bone color, and I think it looks great on armor. So I hit the chestaquilla, the ribs, um, the thing on his hip there, and then the
Hmm.
knee skull, and then also the head of the weapon.
Yeah, it really lets you use that wraith bone to pull out two completely different finishes in the
Hmm.
end.
Yeah, and then I also wanted kind of a bonish white color for his tabard, so I went with actually Agrax Earthshade, and I do 2 layers of this over that because I'm like it'll be like a brownish, bonish, really light color. Uh,
Hmm.
so instead of actually like painting it through, I just hit 2 layers of that, and then I also use that shade for all of the um, Retributor armor I put down before. Once you put down the armor, you get this really nice, grimy metal color for
You
that
mean
metallic
once you
specifically.
put down the Agrax, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
After that, we're going to go to the uh, bolt gun hand weapon here. Just some Mephiston Ray picking out the casing. He will be in my Dark Angels army. They usually have red weapon casings for them, so I'm just pulling it out there. Also flipping him around, it goes onto the book, and then on the backpack I also start picking out those uh, purity seals with it as well. Oh, and the handle also gets it on the hand weapon. And this is probably my favorite red color. Um, there's not, I don't use too many different reds. This is kind of my go-to. And then I highlight up. I have a few colors that I can highlight up with it pretty well. But it usually gets pretty good coverage. Feel like it's just a really good red paint.
Yeah, I don't the only GW anything I've ever had is Agrax Earthshade. So
Yeah, yeah
checking out watching the videos of you painting, it's pretty much everything is quite foreign to me.
right. Yeah, a lot of different colors. Then obviously we're gonna take the good old classic Nuln oil. Nuln oil. Ooh, that's a tongue twister right now. Uh, Hitting all the handgun. I go over the book and the hilt of the hand weapon as well, and pick out that metallic area. And I think I
Gotcha.
hit it on his belt buckle too. So anything that had kind of just a flat color on it uh, got Nuln oil.
So you said you plan on him going in your Dark Angels?
Yep. He'll go somewhere within my Dark Angels.
Depends on which units he's allowed to lead, right?
Yeah. Basically, it's all about what he can lead.
Uh, I'm
Kind of
so
killing
excited
things.
to get that information.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And then as you see here, I'm getting the metal on his head as well. Now I'm shading that before I actually do the flesh color so that I can kind of go over the flesh color a little bit better. And then here we go into that flesh color. I'm just using Gilman flesh contrast. I hate painting flesh tones. I think everybody does. This model actually doesn't come with a helmet. He's just as is. This is how he's built. So I just very carefully go over him with Gilman flesh. Obviously, going onto the head metal on his head, it won't be too bad. But I'm going to go that route first. That way, if I got normal on like his skull, I could clean it up with the wraith bone.
And just it's so good. The contrast for the flesh tones.
Yeah, it is. Quickly here, then we hit some Mournfang brown just for the, I guess, like leather on the book. He's got like 2 leather straps to wrap it. I didn't know what to do. I just picked up a brown, threw it on there. You could use any brown that you like. This is just the one I had on hand at the time. All right, and then I highlight up the armor with this German gray. It is a darker gray, and I'm a huge fan of it for highlighting black because it doesn't go completely to like a light gray. So you can kind of just like throw it on those edges. It looks worn, but I'm not gonna say I don't want to say sloppy, but you can be a little sloppy doing the edge highlights because it is so dark. And then finally here, we're just gonna finish up with some neutral gray, kind of on the corners of all those gray areas. And that would be the last kind of portion that we hit of this. And then didn't actually show it here. We also hit some skeleton horde on all the purity seals, which I did forget to include a video for that. So we are wrapping up this model here. Any last thoughts, Carl?
No, dude looks awesome. Can't wait to see him in person.
Yep.
As he dies to some Death Guard.
Yeah, he'll be dying to some Death Guard. But other than that, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this video.
Bye. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to do the YouTube things for us. Like, subscribe, drop a comment on the video. There are links below to our Discord channel. You come in, chat with us, hang out. If there's anything special you'd like to see, it's a great place to put it. And follow us on Instagram. Until next time, bye.